My name is Bianca Coldwell. I'm 54 years old. For nearly 3 decades, I believed I had built the perfect life. A husband, daughter, a family I could be proud of. Gregory, my husband, was ambitious but restless. He bounced from career to career, real estate startups, consulting projects that went nowhere. And every time he failed, I was there. I worked, I budgeted, I smoothed over the cracks. I told myself it was just a phase. Meanwhile, I gave up my own dreams. I was good with numbers. Financial management was my strength. I could have built a career, maybe even a business of my own. But instead, I told myself my job was to make his life easier. To raise our daughter Amelia. To be the glue that held everything together. And I believed it was worth it. Until Amelia's graduation day. The restaurant was beautiful. Laughter, clinking glasses, the smell of roasted duck and champagne in the air. Everyone was celebrating Amelia, our daughter who worked so hard, who earned her degree with honors. I was proud, glowing. Then Gregory stood up to make his toast. Everyone expected a father's proud words. Instead, he looked me directly in the eyes and said, loud enough for the whole restaurant to hear, "I've decided to start a new life, without you." Silence. Forks froze midair. 50 pairs of eyes turned to me, waiting for the explosion, the tears, the breakdown. But I didn't give them any of that. Smiled. Controlled. And I said, "Congratulations on your honesty." Inside, though, my heart was a furnace. Every nerve in my body screamed betrayal. He thought he had humiliated me. Thought he'd get the last word. But what Gregory didn't know was that I had been preparing for this moment for months. It started 3 months earlier. Tiny discrepancies in our accounts. Transfers. Money missing. Being a finance manager, I knew every cent. And something didn't add up. So I started digging. What I found shattered me. Gregory wasn't just cheating. He was siphoning money into a hidden account. Taking our savings to wine and dine Cassandra, his younger mistress. A woman who had sat at my Christmas table. A woman who once called me for career advice. He had promised her jewelry, a beachfront condo, a brand new life. And the whole time he told me we had to tighten our belts for retirement. But Gregory made a fatal mistake. Because 28 years ago, on our wedding day, he insisted on a prenup. Back then I had family money. He didn't. He thought the prenup would protect him. Buried in that prenup was one tiny, overlooked clause. If he cheated, he lost everything. And guess who kept every receipt, every bank statement, every piece of evidence? For nearly a year, while he plotted his grand escape, I built my case. Attorneys, financial tracing, phone records, even recordings of his voice, bragging about Cassandra. I set it all up like dominoes, ready to fall the second I gave the push. So when he stood there at graduation dinner, smug and satisfied, thinking he had destroyed me, I simply reached into my purse, pulled out an envelope, and slid it across the table. He frowned. "What's this?" Smiled. "Something for you to read later." Then I kissed Amelia on the cheek, whispered, "This day is still about you, sweetheart," and walked out of that restaurant with my head high. I wasn't there to see it, but I'll never forget the sound of his voice chasing me into the parking lot minutes later, shouting my name. Panic. Because inside that envelope were divorce papers, bank statements, screenshots, recordings, every shred of proof of his betrayal. He had just realized that his grand exit had turned into his grand downfall. The next morning he stormed into the house, face red, papers in his hand. "You served me divorce papers. Today. Are you insane?" He stayed calm. "I thought it aligned nicely with your plans. You wanted a new life. I'm just helping you start it." He sneered. "The prenup expired years ago. You can't." Cut him off. Actually, it didn't. Section 12, Gregory. The fidelity clause is valid for the duration of the marriage. You really should have read it properly. Oh wait, you didn't even consult a lawyer, did you? The color drained from his face. That was the moment he realized. The prenup he demanded was the weapon that would destroy him. From then on, his world unraveled. Cassandra discovered the truth, that he wasn't the wealthy savior he promised. Their dream condo. The lease never finalized, I made sure of it. The beachfront property. His accounts. Frozen. He tried to turn Amelia against me, but she stared him down and said, "You blew up our family on my graduation day. You lied, you stole, and you humiliated Mom in public. Don't you dare tell me this doesn't involve me." I had never been prouder of her. Within months, Gregory lost everything. Cassandra left him. His business, which I quietly supported all those years, crumbled. The court upheld the prenup in full. He walked away with little more than a suitcase and a dingy apartment. And me. Kept the house. Our retirement. 70% of the joint investments. But more than that, I kept my dignity. I finally built the business I always dreamed of. Helping women navigate financial transitions, especially divorce. Turning my pain into power. And Amelia. She told me she'd never been prouder. As for Gregory, well, the irony still makes me smile. The prenup he thought would protect him. It became the sword that cut him down. So in the end, revenge wasn't about making him suffer. It was about reclaiming myself. Watching him lose everything was satisfying, yes. But standing tall, free, and stronger than ever. That was the real victory. This story isn't just about betrayal. It's about underestimation. Gregory thought I'd be weak, powerless, broken. Instead, I became unstoppable. Sometimes, the sweetest revenge isn't just about what they lose. It's about what you gain back. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and drop a comment. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe, because we've got more stories of betrayal, karma, and ultimate payback coming your way.